Good morning, brave awakened ones. This is Veronica, Lady V of Higher Realm Holistics. This is NRV 38. I actually shot this at like 3 something, 4 o'clock in the morning. But then in listening to it back, I was just like still coming out of the remote view. So I was a bit too, blah. So I'm reshooting it now. Not only that, it was very dark. Even though I had on my lamp, I don't have ceiling lights or anything. I had them on one lamp, so it was too dark and stuff. So I'm reshooting it. Hopefully, the same information comes out because it was just flowing out of me, and I didn't even call back all my energy from that timeline, which I was told to get all this out before. But at least I wrote it down. Let's hope I can make it coherent, okay? You could visit my website, higherrealmholistics.com, if you're interested in booking sessions, if you're interested in my webinars in Higher Realm Magic. They're instructional webinars to learn how to do Higher Realm Magic for the magician, the alchemist, the high priest, high priestess, and you. And also, I have great meditations, very powerful meditations, only $11, 11 I think it is. For these very powerful meditations I got from Thoth and from Metatron, who gifted me these meditations. They're available too at my website, howrealmholistics.com. And if you're interested in my merch, this is one of my tees, many different styles and colors. Right, Rainbow Light Warrior, Soldier Up, okay. And also my book, where you could find in all major online book retailers. I have 2 books out, one adult, one children's picture book. The children's picture book is a bestseller. How the Caterpillar Flew and When Angels Come to Play. The information for them is also on my website. If you're interested in an autographed copy of How the Caterpillar Flew, you can get that from my website too. And Saturday coming up, the 17th of August, in my office in North Miami Beach, I will be having an event. I'm trying to hold them twice a month, live events in my office, for people who, who really need help to, it's get together. I do Reiki, we do tapping I have a big copper pyramid, we do meditation, but most importantly, we talk about ascension. People have great breakthroughs and stuff, which is thank you Patreons, because that's what you're helping to keep going, is that. And if you're in the Miami area, North Miami Beach, I'm right off the highway, off the 95. Very nice building, free parking, vegetarian restaurants in the area. Like there's 2 vegetarian restaurants in the area, but they're not open on Saturday because they're Jewish. But one is. So you can come down there and enjoy, let's commune together. It's for free, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Saturday, the 17th. Okay. And for my Patreons, I have different tiers and what happens at different tiers. If you're interested, check out Patreon. All right. Okay, so this NRV, it was a very kind of gory one. But a couple of things I want to touch before I get into that remote view. When it comes to what's going on with Epstein, be careful, truthers, and be careful, people, because I've had people sending me videos to not go down crazy rabbit holes, okay? When it comes to, over analyzing his picture, coming up with all these different, it was bait and switch, he's here, he's there. This was allowed to happen because now the floodgates are open. They don't have Jeffrey Epstein. They can't violate his rights. His lawyer can't get in the way. To storm the castle, literally, to storm all his castles, literally. That gate is wide open now, okay? You have to understand why it was allowed to happen. And a lot of the truthers, a lot of people, most of you have not seen dead bodies. I've been around dozens, if not hundreds, of dead bodies where I've handled dead bodies. I've handled people who've been choked to death, asphyxiated, hung. I actually had to cut down a 15-year-old girl who hung herself by her hair and her sweatshirt. I had to do that with one other person. Okay? So people don't look the same dead as they do alive, especially if you're comparing a picture of somebody sitting up and alive to somebody dead who's been dead for a minute or so and they're laying down. They don't look the same. There's no circulation, especially when you cut off circulation to the head. Well, all circulation's gone. But, you look completely, things collapse. You look completely different. So, don't go down that rabbit hole, all right? That's a distraction. That's a diversion, all right? Look over here, not over there. Seriously, come on. And the other thing I wanted to talk about was, some guys, and I do mean guys because there are a couple of men out there. One of them got the hint finally. But there's still a couple out there who are very delusional when it comes to me. Sending me their information, their phone number, insisting that I belong with them and things like that. Stop. Don't post your personal information. Don't send me your personal information. I'm not interested. Don't send me things that are unsolicited. Please stop. And if you show up in my office, thinking, oh yeah, I'm going to woo her. And don't call me sweetheart. Don't call me darling. Don't do any of that. Stop it. All right. I'm not your girlfriend. I'm not your twin flame. I'm not your soulmate. And, now the emails have gotten angry, so you're descending into darkness. The guys out there who are doing this, you're not ascending, you're descending. Okay. And if I have to stop you my way, my higher realm magic way, I will do so. It ain't gonna be pretty, because like I said, I body slam. I put an end to shit. And if you show up in my office, I know how to defend myself, and I'll have you arrested. But first, I'm gonna have a piece of you first, just for being a pain in my ass. Seriously. So please stop. Please stop. You're descending into darkness. Okay. Now for this god awful remote view. It has to do with the harnessing, the harvesting of sex hormones, and how it's being done. It has to do a lot with the human trafficking, especially children, and it has to do a lot with abortion, especially late-term abortions. Later the better. It's harnessing the gonads, meaning the testes and the ovaries, and that is where the supply of hormones are coming from for to do the whole transsexual thing also. And what's going to bust out about that is it's going to come out in Hollywood, and it's also going to come out in Canada. Also, it's going to come out in Canada. What they're going to come out with is that they're going to make this big deal and try to celebrate these designer babies. I know that's like old news. We've heard of that. But it's like the whole picking of the sex thing, that everything's about the sex. The reason why, because it's a Luciferian agenda to invert the law of gender. Okay, that's the whole thing with Lucifer. It's an inversion. 3D is an inversion. Think of a mirror. Everything's an inversion in the mirror. That is what 3D has been, an inversion. But now the mirror is cracked and broken. That's why people are waking up and seeing the BS of it. That it's all a lie. Everything is being inverted. So they're still going to keep going. Again, they don't stop until they're taken out. You don't stop a narcissist unless you completely take them out. It has to be a body slam where they don't get back up. Plain and simple. So that's what's going to happen. It's going to be like a big bust where they're going to come out with it, the harvesting of gonads. That's what's going to come out, the harvesting of gonads. Yeah, Hollywood. Yeah, and also, let me see. Yeah, I want to mention Tanzania, the explosion that happened before. Thank you, subscriber, for letting me know, because I didn't even know. It's completely buried. Apparently, an oil tanker truck flipped over in front of this big bus depot. And some guy, people have it on their phone, they say, some guy came over with a cigarette and blew the whole thing up and burnt to a crisp, incinerated over 60 people, burnt them to death. Babies, children, everybody. And you see everything, just a big lump of melted metal. That's how hot it was, the flames. So send out healing energy. What I did is I played the video I found, and then I sent the Reiki energy that way. So you Reiki masters, if you have the stomach for it, which we need to at this point, because trust me, this is nothing compared to what we're going to see between 2020 to the end of 2021. I said it's going to be very, 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 very messy. I just got off of a over an hour conversation with my BFF, who just came back from a long vacation in Italy. She was there for a couple of months. And she was like, oh my God, all this stuff coming out. I just was like closed off to the world because I just wanted to be alone for a while with family. And I was cluing her in. And she's the one who got scared. She used to do timeline jumping with me. That's how we found out we were doing timeline collapsing, because we would have the same stories at the same time and be like, wait a minute, you were there and then your sister was there and we were doing this. How did you know? But it scared her, so she closed herself off. So I had to explain to her everything and was telling her about the farms, what's going on at the farm. She's like, oh, because she loves farms. She was born on a farm in Italy, a goat farm. So it calmed her down, but it's still, saddening. And she's like, she was with her family and she's like, I'm trying to explain to them. And the thing is, she was, of all people, she was like a raging liberal, that one. Raging liberal. And she's like, they don't understand how I don't hate Trump. She goes, I don't hate Trump. And she's fact. She's like, I don't like his personality. He's not likable, because we grew up in a Trump New York City, with all the businesses he did. And we didn't like his way of doing business. But she's like, but they need to understand he's not one of the bad guys. And everyone's so mad at me. And I'm like, since she's into the Bible, I said, what did Jesus say? That he's here. Jesus was a rebel rouser. They're trying to pass him off as his beatnik. Jesus was no beatnik. He was at the temple whipping ass and flipping tables. Okay? Just saying. He said he's here to turn son against father and daughter against mother. That is what he's here to do. And she's like, oh my God. She's like, thank you for reminding me of that quote, because I sit at the dinner table with all the family and that's exactly what's going on. We said, yeah. And come 2020, when the normies are finally, will finally hit most of them, you can't hide the truth anymore. It's going to be a decision of either accept personal responsibility for everything and wake the fuck up already, or go down in darkness if your soul's not ready to handle all the negativity. And I told her, I said, all those people who are busy praising the Church of Beyonce, the majority of them, no, they're not going to wake up. And she's like, what do you mean Church of Beyonce? What does that mean? So I was joking. I said, look it up. And she's like, oh my God. I was like, yeah, Church of Babylon. There she is. There you go. Babylon, live and well in your face. So yeah, that's what I wanted to talk about, guys. So yeah, look for that in the news. All right. And again, the reason for these NRVs is so, the way it was told to me was future proofs past. Because she's like, I told her I started making these videos a while ago, starting with the LA thing. And she's like, wow. She goes, I thought you shut that part of yourself off when you were young. Because I've noticed this in second grade. And I was like, yeah, I did. I said, but I don't have to do it. But I feel like I'm one of the few who can do this. So I need to help the collective. Because if you guys know, you're able to be like, red pill your family. It's like, if I'm saying something and then it happens the next day or 2 days later and you're able to say, look, here's the video. We're not crazy. It's right there in your face. We're not crazy. We can do this. We can bilocate. We can timeline jump. We could see all this. We're part of this higher mind. There it is in your face. We don't need to have chips embedded in us. We are the technology. We're able to prove that. We're able to red pill them, So that's why I'm doing these. They may sound gory, but future proofs past, right? All right. And what else? Yeah. I had gone to bed. I went back to sleep after I made that video at 4 a.m. And then I was in this timeline. It's a lower timeline. And I have been in this timeline before where it's not the WW3 timeline that is completely gone. We smashed that, okay? but it's still, and it's not the complete 100% one world order one, but it's something close. And they were trying to keep me there to get me to strengthen that timeline, because timelines are probabilities. Okay, they're all different probabilities. So they were trying to get my energy to make it a more of a probability of manifesting. And I was in a hospital facility, and I had given up doing this, and I went back there to work at this hospital, but it was a future probability timeline. And it was just, it's a long story to explain. And then, thank God, my phone went off. It was on vibrate, but it vibrates strong enough where it snapped me out of it. It was my BFF. And I was like still there. I was like, it was like a pull between two, and I had to pull back my energy. And then then as I was coming out of it, I heard them say, damn, we lost her again. They know what they're doing. So I was like, shoot. Okay. And then I was able to call back my energy and weaken that timeline instead, which is why sometimes you're pulled into those lower vibrating timelines. So you wake up in it, you know you're in that timeline, and you collapse that timeline by calling your energy back, okay? Because they're feeding on your energy, especially as a higher being, to strengthen their timeline. It's such a mind fuck. Okay, guys, so look out for that NRV coming up, right? When it comes to the designer babies coming out in Canada, and it's Canada and over in Sweden, and it's those socialist countries, Sweden and Finland, with the whole agenda when it comes to the inversion of the law, of the principle and law of gender. They're like the top ground for that, ground zero. And Hollywood, California, is actually they're the ones who bring it into America. They're ground zero to bring that shit into America. But yeah, that's going to come out with the harvesting of the gonads. Okay, so keep that in mind. And please still know that explosion that happened in Tanzania, that wasn't the one I was talking about. The explosion that I saw was in America, somewhere in middle part of America. Okay, that's where it's going to be. I don't know exactly when, but I just felt it right here. I feel it getting closer and closer. Like I said, I was walking through the dead bodies, and I saw, and it was rubble. So it was like a building or something like that. So it was rubble. A lot of people perished in it. Just saying. All right. So Lady V out. Go to higherrealmholistics.com if you're interested in supporting what I do. Thank you very much. Talk to you guys later.